I'm John Batchelor. Mary Kissel, my Floridian, also of the editorial board of the Wall Street Journal, is here. Not one, but two Florida congressional districts tonight, Mary. This is 26 Florida, which is from Miami, about Fontainebleau, and I read the map. This is all new territory to me, but I'm trying to learn. Down through Homestead, then all the way to the Keys. This is the 26th, now represented by Congressman Garcia. He is a Democrat who supports Obamacare, supports it as often as possible, and the questions are being raised in the Hispanic community of Florida by an organization, Libre. And the challenge here is for Congressman Garcia to explain himself because as I understand it, the launch of the Spanish language site is an embarrassment to everyone.
Oh, for sure.
And it was delayed, and now it's published in what is called Spanglish. I'm just quoting the New York Times and others now. I'm not mischaracterizing this because I'm looking to be prejudicial. I'm looking to follow this bouncing ball. I do not have the Spanish. I cannot comment, so we welcome someone who does, representing Libre, Jose Malia. Jose, a very good evening to you. Is it true that the Spanish language website is an embarrassment, clumsy, and was slapped together? And there's even the suggestion that it was translated using whatever you can find online to do automatic translation. Good evening to you.
Hi, good evening, John and Mary. And, if it had been using some sort of a online tool, it might be even better, because it really is something that you can tell was a lot of attention was not paid to as it should have been. Some of those terms were translated are hard to understand. I've heard from people that are reading this and they don't think that it's not only grammatically accurate, they just don't understand what some of those words mean. So it makes it even more difficult. It just adds an additional burden for an already complicated process.
And Jose, this was a promise that the president made to the Spanish-speaking community in the country that this would be up and running. This wasn't some last-minute thing that was shoved in the last minute, correct?
Absolutely. That's exactly right. There was a promise that was made by the president multiple times on different media outlets. He did it in speeches, and it's unfortunate because there are a lot of people that they're counting on. They're trying to pressure into and coerce into signing up for this law, who don't understand what the site is all about and don't understand what the program is all about.
Let's go to Dr. Grazie Christie. She is identified in an article written by a colleague of yours at USA Today as a physician in South Florida. And she has an ad up that is launched by Libre, the website, commenting about the effect or the anxiety of the Hispanic American community because of the Affordable Care Act. How so, Jose?
Yeah, so Dr. Christy Gracie is a very dedicated physician who lives in South Florida, and she's been doing town hall forums and speaking about this law now for several months, trying to educate people in the community about it so they can get informed. And, one of the sad things about her practice is that she has patients that are coming in and asking her, "Doctor, I've been with you for so long. I want to continue to have you treat me. Can you guarantee me that you'll be able to treat me with this new law?" And she says that she can't. And then she's hearing sad cases from people. As a physician, people are calling her and saying, "Look, I'm hearing that my premiums are going to go up." Other folks are calling and letting her know that her coverage has been canceled. So it's a very complicated, very convoluted law that's actually hurting, in my opinion, the Hispanic community, because it's providing less coverage, canceling coverage for people who are happy with their existing coverage, and then others who can get it might not be able to keep the same doctors.
Jose, I had the same story told me tonight by an orthopedic surgeon here in New York. I was speaking at the Young Republicans Club tonight. He came up to me afterwards and he said, basically told the same story, but it seems unusual that a doctor would stand up and speak out. They don't usually participate in politics, at least seems usually to be lawyers. What motivated her?
Yeah, she's someone that just cares about her community, and she kind of told us the same thing, that when she went into medicine, she went into it because she wanted to help people.
Right.
She wanted to treat patients and so on. And she really came to us, and she said, "Look, I've heard about you guys. I've been to a couple of your events. I want to help because I feel like this is part of my calling as a doctor to continue to serve the community. And now I'm serving them by educating them and by informing people about why this is not a good law." Now,
Jose, this seat that is up for grabs, this is a freshman congressman. Is it considered a tight race?
It is a tight race, and I'll tell you why it's a tight race. This is a seat that was newly drawn. It's a very dynamic seat. seat that represents a lot of the diversity of South Florida, and I think a lot of the diversity of America, right? It's a very diverse Hispanic community, folks from all sorts of countries, but they all have unique stories. They all came to this country seeking a better way of life, seeking a way to improve, not just their lives, but their children's lives.
It's not all immigrants, right, though, Jose? Because you're speaking...
Not all, absolutely not. I'd say about maybe 40% to 50% are immigrants. The rest are folks who've been here multiple generations. But I think that's what makes it so dynamic and so exciting. At the same time, that's why they're so adversely affected by this law, because what this law does is limit the ability of their kids to have the opportunities that they've had, not just from a healthcare standpoint, but also from a national debt standpoint. What impact is this going to have on the next generation of Americans? And that's the kind of stuff that they're actually worried about. And those are the questions that they're asking when we hold town hall meetings. What's going to happen to my kids?
Congressman Garcia has responded, at least through the interviews that I've read, and I'm quoting from him, he wants help. That includes moving needed reforms for the bill. Is Congressman Garcia conceding that this bill is flawed and broken? Is he making is he giving us any details about his thinking?
Look, I think Congressman Garcia knows that this bill is flawed and broken. Unfortunately, he chooses to remain supportive of the bill because it's good for him from an electoral standpoint, or at least he thinks so. And he even mentioned that. He made a comment to Politico today where he said, well, let's see what happens in November. People are going to regret criticizing this bill. And I think that's unfortunate because our members of Congress shouldn't be thinking about the next election. They should be thinking about how they can serve us best, how they can go to Washington and represent the interests of their district. And unfortunately, that's not what we're seeing. So we're asking folks to, go on our website, joinlibre.org, and let us know, or actually keep them accountable. Keep them accountable.com, and let us know that they want to have their members of Congress remain accountable. They want their members of Congress to, answer why they haven't done anything to fix this bill. And in Congressman Garcia's case, he's been very supportive of the administration all along. And I think that's unfortunate.
Keepthemaccountable.com. That's the English version. Is there a Spanish version?
rendiendocuentas.com.
How's the translation, Jose? It's pretty good translation.
No, it's not Spanglish. I'll tell you that. It's not Spanglish. Yes.
I'm flabbergasted by this Spanglish line. Were you surprised, Jose, when you...
it's funny because Spanglish is a term that we use kind of off. We just say it from time to time that we speak in Spanglish when me and my friends are off in the, talking English and Spanish mixed. But that's not what you expect from your government. Your government should take, the added step of being responsible and making sure that the website that's translated is translated correctly. And that's unfortunate. That's what we've seen time and time again when it comes to this law. It's just been a haphazard approach to how they've rolled it out and unfortunately how they're running and administering the program.
So it's the website you want people to go to in Spanish is what, Jose? Say it again, please.
rendiendocuentas.com.
And that is also a .org?
Yeah.
No, .com.
.com.
And actually, keep them accountable. keepthemaccountable.net.
.net. Yes, we'll get it all straight, but the Spanish is most important. Jose Malia of Libre, that is the name of the organization, libre.org, and Mary Kissel, the editorial board of the Wall Street Journal and Opinion Journal. Mary's the host. I remind everybody she was speaking at the Republican Club tonight to great attention.
Oh, great audience.
And Mary is every day at 1 p.m. I'm talking to Australia, 1 p.m. East Coast time, guys. Okay? East Coast time. I'm John Batchelor. This is The John Batchelor Show.